Hi, this is Joan Silva, Tidy Up Tuesdays, and I'm your money dream coach, tidy up person, gal, professional, queen, sometimes I like to say. And you can reach me at yourmoneydream.com or certainly right here on this link. Joan@joansilva.com is my email. And every week on Tuesdays, and welcome those who joined me, Maria and Barbara and Joy, please say something in the comments. I really love to have you engage with me and Maria. So thank you very much for joining me live today. So Tidy Up Tuesdays with Joan. I do it via email every 2 weeks. I send out videos and updates and articles, so you certainly can sign up for that. Get in touch with me at joan@joansilva.com, or you can sign up for it on my website, yourmoneydream.com. Look for the tab that says Tidy Up Tuesdays. But you also can watch a video there too. So yes, I love to share about tidying up because it is my thing. And oh, Maria, you said thank you very much for joining me live today. Yes, you too. And Jessica, thank you for joining me. I'm heading out the door in a few minutes to meet up with some friends who are from out of state. And so wonderful. They're here for a short time. And they have so many things that they can see and do and participate in, and people to engage with, that I feel really honored that I'm one of them, my husband and I. So we're going to be heading out shortly to do that. Very fun. I do say that I realize it's tough to talk about tidying up during some of the horrific things that are going on in Northern California. Non-contained fires, many of them, just flattening and destroying many areas. Very frightening. And I realize that the deeper conversation of tidying up is all about that. For many years, I saw the connection, because I work with people and their money beliefs, how it connects money and things to each other. That as we tidy up one thing, we actually clean up and tidy the other. It's funny how it naturally flows. It shifts something inside, and we do that automatically. It's fascinating. I know when I first sought out somebody eons ago in the field of financial counseling, which is the area that I work in, as I was working on my money, my weight shifted. So guess what? Dietary issues change, and time management. They're all connected, aren't they? All those four things. So I want to give out my blessings to those who are really now without homes, or they're in evacuation sites. And it makes me think of how many things that we see as valuable and what really is valuable. So that's been very prominent for me for a while. My husband and I even talked about, hey, if we had to pack our car or his truck with those things at the last second, what would we bring? Some of these people, the door got knocked on, they had to leave immediately, get in their car and drive off. So they had just the clothes on their back. Whatever happened to be right near them, they might have grabbed. So I just want to say that I recognize that today has got a lot of emotion and volatility about it, and I'm going to lighten it a bit and talk about things that are somewhat not related. So forgive me if I feel like it's heartless. I don't mean it to be. So yeah, welcome Govind, and hey Rebecca. Rebecca's lived through a house fire, so she definitely knows what that feels like. And yes, Jessica mentioned, who would I take when John and I were talking about it? Yes. My dog Lexi would be number one. Well, my husband and my dog, I should say. We would pack those up. But we talked about where would we put prominent important papers, and how would we keep those safe so that we could just take and grab easily, because they're all together. Some people use safe deposit boxes. They aren't as prominent these days. And it would be tough if you had it in a safe and you had to quick, nervously go and open a safe and try and grab stuff out. So you have to decide what's most important for you. So thank you for joining me. Paula, thank you. Any questions you might have. But today on Tidy Up Tuesdays with Joan, I want to say that the area that several people have brought up, and when I've done other posts on Facebook about other things, what is it that's old you, no longer is you, the old Joan, or whoever you are, and no longer is who you are. What is it that is that you can release and let go? And as I was conversing on the comments with them, fascinating conversations, I love that, I realized, oh my goodness, I have an entire bookcase well, I shouldn't say that. It's a small bookcase. I have an entire shelf just jammed with cookbooks. Now, if you know Joan, she doesn't like to cook. And she avoids it if at all possible. And if I do, it's very simple and basic. Open up some salad, put on some meat on it, put some vegetables, whatever. And it's pretty basic. I like that. I like quick and easy. I'm the simple girl. I really like to live with less. So less obligations, less work. And I do not like to bake, although several of my friends here do. And I really honor you. So yeah, Rebecca, you did say, I feel so much for all the dealings with the fires. They're so hard because you've been through it, where you know what it's like to lose everything and not be prepared, to come back to your home because neighbors told you your house was on fire and really not be able to take anything out of it. Unfortunately, your pets made it out safe. So yes, I want to say that my heart goes out to anybody who is dealing with that. Right now, looking out the window that I'm looking at over here, which you can't see the window, you can see my slider behind me, but it faces the water, but the slider does too. And there are windmills across the river, which isn't very wide, by the way, wide enough for a ship, but basically not that wide. You can't even see the windmills clearly because the smoke is so dense. And that's because it's floated down from the Sonoma counties, Napa counties, in that area from the river and is affecting us here. And as my husband pointed out when I was fretting over fire, he said, honey, we're surrounded by water. That won't be the issue. Now, floods, that's another story, but fire's not. And I mean, I'm not talking about we can't have individual house fires. He's talking about that type of fire moving this direction. So let's talk about today, to get away from a bit of the heaviness, but recognize that this is also about that. When we tidy up, when we let go, when we release, it simplifies our life, makes it less busy, and by the way, then you're really clear what you're going to take with you, because there's not going to be excess stuff that has no meaning, because it is about meaning, purpose, value, not just because somebody gave it to you and you don't know what to do with it. I have those too. Or that you forget you have them. So today's topic, is it time, let's see, what did I write? Is it time to tidy up those kitchen gadgets or cookbook shelf? I realized not a single one of those cookbooks have I looked at in a million years. I dust them because I kind of like to dust. Well, let's put it this way. I don't like dust, but I don't want it, so I dust. And I realized that all it's doing is accumulating dust. I'm not even using them. So I did put a stack here in front of me. And then I also wanted to point out that I realized when I was doing this, let me see if I can move it so that you all can see it. And I'm going to turn it so you can see it. Ah, there you go. You see, I have a couple of my cookbooks. Now they're really cool cookbooks, mind you. And what's on top? My juicer. Now I'm tall, so I can reach this cabinet, but most people couldn't. I had it jammed in this really, those really tall kitchen cabinets. Most people would take a step stool. And it's crammed in the back corner. I haven't looked at it. Obviously, haven't used it in forever. And it's like a million years old. Great thing. People love to juice. They love all that kind of stuff. I did it at one point. Tried bringing it out. Too much work to clean it. And I got to the point where it's like, I don't want to clean it. So it's too much hassle. And although it certainly has value for many people juice for healthy reasons. Hey, go for it. Then a juicer is quite valuable. And here's where it needs to be on your kitchen counter if you use it all the time. Otherwise, I'd say, bye-bye juicer. So these books that I have sitting here, which by the way, like I said, I have a whole shelf of them. And there's the one called Plenty More. There's the one that's the Best Life Diet Cookbook, back when Bob Greene was doing a lot of promoting on Oprah. I love that idea, and it was under the Best Life publishers. And then the one, The Healthy Kitchen by Andrew Weil. He's an MD, and I really love his stuff too. All of them I was driven to because I love their stuff. I think what their message is so uplifting, absolutely in line with what I believe in. So I got the cookbooks. Have I used them? I think I might have not even used any of those. And if I did, I might have cracked them once. I'm an online gal. I go online. Or a friend will say, oh, I have this really cool recipe for this. I had a friend that just put one on there for soup, a particular type of soup. I'm like, oh, good. Simple recipe. She does it in her Instapot, but you don't have to do it that way. And I thought, I can fix that. I don't want to keep a cookbook. So guess what? That whole shelf of books, cookbooks that I actually did about 2 years ago, I completely tidied up my kitchen. Isn't it funny how the juicer didn't quite make it out the door? And the cookbooks, I narrowed them down to very few, yet I still have a good size shelf of cookbooks. And now I realize, now I'm ready to release them. Time to let them go. How about you? What is it in your kitchen that's shoved in those cabinets that you never open? In a house in San Ramon we owned, there was this cabinet that you literally had to get on your stomach and crawl inside. It went so deep in the back. It had no opening in another area where you could get to these things shoved way back. Well, I didn't purposely shove things back there. They just ended up back there. We lived in that house 17 years, and when we moved, I couldn't believe what got shoved back in that back corner. And never seen, never heard of. I didn't even know I had it. I did my hutch because Roxanne just mentioned fancy glasses from wedding gifts. Yes. Oh, aren't they beautiful? And if you really do want to hold them and use them and drink from them and savor them, or you entertain regularly and use them, hey, nobody says you have to get rid of them. I'm saying the things that you have boxed up, that you have hidden, that you have in a cabinet you never open or look at or you don't use, that you have in some closet. I'm really good at organizing closets. They look quite neat and tidy. But organizing is not the same thing as tidying up and releasing the stuff that holds stagnant old energy. And isn't the new Joan? Who's Joan today? She isn't the same thing she was even a week ago. So, hey, Jessica, yeah, the 9,000 serving dishes that we use one time a year. Yes. How many of us have gotten china and things like that from family? Or I have three sets of china. One was my grandmother's everyday stuff. One was my doggie's going to come visit. Hello, Lexi. One was china that I got myself, and another is certainly high quality stuff. I don't entertain anymore. And when I do, it's very casual, potluck. In fact, I'm having some friends over for Halloween, and we're all bringing something. It's going to be casual. Hardly is it going to be the china and the silver and these fancy wedding glasses. So let's see. Roxanne said, yes, my mom gave me my grandma's china, and it's in a box in the garage. It has such deep sentimental value. I get it. Not easy to let go. I get that too. However, if it's boxed, you don't find value in it. You are not giving it the love that it requires. And how painful that is, that we don't even look at it anymore. And we forget it's even there. That's not honoring. And the energy is so heavy. And all it does is produce guilt. So I suggest having a ritual around this. Release and let go, and let the stuff move on its own. I think that's the most important thing. So take a look at your kitchen. Open some cabinets. Look in your pantry. How about all that old food that you aren't using? My mother would keep years and years of spices. They're really only meant to be kept a couple of months, if they're opened especially. And yet, how many times have we gone in there to make our, coming with Halloween and with Thanksgiving and the holidays, everything's pumpkin spice. How long has it been that you had that pumpkin spice container in there that you make your pumpkin pies with or something else with? Hey, smoothies. If you haven't regularly used it, woohoo, time to let go. So I want to just encourage you to take a look at what things you actually use. How many times have you noticed you wear the same old outfits over and over and over again? And I don't mean old as in aged, although it could be that too. I meant we repetitively wear the same kind of look, and the rest just sits there. That's true in our kitchens too. I noticed this with my drawer. I had this big drawer of all the little utensils, spatulas and, that kind of stuff. I had stuff I never used. Some of it even was rusty. I noticed, the skewers that you use to make, marinated meats. I don't barbecue anymore, and those skewers were really sad. Guess what? Out the door they went. Not as in giving it away. Sometimes you really do have to just let it go in the garbage can. So please take a look at your kitchen and notice gadgets. Why did you get the gadget? Are you using it anymore? Hey, I noticed I never used my blender. Put it up in the cabinet, And now I'm standing there going, why am I keeping that blender again? I have a small bullet that I do smoothies with, but I don't use a blender anymore. I can't even remember the last time I climbed on my step ladder up to above the refrigerator. You know, one of those cabinets that it takes gymnastics to get up to? That's where it is. So I either will rethink what I'm fixing or forget I have it. So Becca said, yeah, that her hubby is a food hoarder, and so it's crazy. Yes. Each of us has that. My husband has that thing too, where he'll buy packages, especially since I'm gluten-free, he'll find really cool packages of, I don't know, cornbread or whatever, and instead of buying one, he'll buy 5 or 3, and then we have that and the special flour and all that. Did I say I don't bake? Did I say I don't cook? And he really doesn't enjoy that much either. So silly, we have those in the cabinet. How many towels do you have? Now, it's different if you use towels instead of paper towels. You might have areas where you have special towels, nice ones for, kitchen use that you hang out, maybe dry some dishes with. But most of us have dishwashers, so we don't tend to do a lot of dishes. And we keep 52 towels. Isn't it time to let those go too? So start to look at your kitchen and say, do I really even use this? Why did I get that gadget? And by the way, it's sunk cost. It already cost you out of pocket. Time to let her go. If you aren't using it, somebody else will enjoy it. I know somebody else will enjoy my juicer because that's very prominent these days. And so we want to pass them on. So what else did somebody say? Okay, do you want to come help me with my kitchen? It's going to be a big job. And this is after the fire that we got rid of all of that crap. And that was Becca that said that, Rebecca. Yes, one of the things that we do is we clear an open space. Now, this is what happens in bigger homes, not to pick on you that have guys that have bigger homes. Then we have to fill them up. We have a sense of we can't have empty open space. Somehow it makes us feel that we're not valuable, that we are poor and we can't fill the room, whatever it is, that it chains something inside that we want to have our rooms decorated and filled. So the more open space you have, the more likely you're going to want to fill it. So when they've done heat paths in houses, when they've done scientific research, we only use about 40% of our house. So why do we need these massive big homes that we aren't actually using or living in, or we seldom do? Guess what? We fill them. And that's the same thing with big kitchens. I see this on those shows on television or in magazines or in articles where we're filling our kitchens with these massive kitchens, these great big kitchens. Absolutely don't have a thing against a big kitchen or a beautiful kitchen, especially if you love to cook. However, remember, leave a few of those empty. I had to teach myself that when I emptied bookcases because books were my thing. Don't fill the shelf, Joan. Leave it open. Nothing wrong with that. Remove some furniture. Leave it open. Tendency is discomfort, and we fill it. So just keep that in mind. Notice that. As you empty out something in the kitchen, it's amazing how it fills up very quickly, unless we're really cognizant and aware. Keep meaningful, purposeful things, not only that we use, but that we also enjoy. So you have those two things that kind of guide you. And if you're not doing either one of those, other than like annual things like a holiday, it's for those who do Christmas, I can understand keeping that. However, if you are not even pulling all that Christmas stuff out, that's what I noticed for myself. I had this one little, like a hope chest that was empty. And I put all of the things I regularly like to decorate for my kitchen, my dining room table. I have a fireplace here. I love to decorate the mantle or other things. I had it all in this hutch. This hope chest. And I never went up into the garage and got all of that stuff down. So this last year, guess what? We gave it away and we kept very little. So thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate that. I love to have you share with me your tidy up area. The cookbooks and the kitchen gadgets were one that came up on conversation on Facebook. If you have one in particular that you'd like some help with, like Rebecca mentioned, come help me with my kitchen. I actually do help people, not in their environments, but like this where we're on a Zoom platform where I can see you and you can see me. And we dive in, set up tension, look at our purpose. What's our value? What's our vision? Because that's the key. The first step is, what do I really want it to look like? How would I like it to feel? How would I like it to appear? How useful do I want it? I don't want to have to climb up on step stools and drag stuff out of the way to get the thing I use all the time. How crazy is that? And we do that. Then if you want my help, hold your hand, help you set that, give some accountability, and then you come back to another session and we see how it worked. Tweak it, see if it works. Then go to my website, yourmoneydream.com, under the tab Tidy Up Tuesdays, and you're welcome to join my to and through sessions. 2 appointments, one more deep, the other one more of a tweaking, and let's get her done. Because Joan loves to get her done. I really am one of those. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be obnoxious, but I am one of those. So I'm Joan, and you can reach me at joan@joansilva.com, or get me on my website, yourmoneydream.com, or right here on Facebook or YouTube, because this does get loaded on YouTube. Thank you all for joining me on Tidy Up Tuesdays, for cleaning up our kitchens and getting rid of our cookbooks and gadgets. And if somebody really wants one of those 3 cookbooks I mentioned, I would be glad to mail it to you, honestly. But I don't want you to get it because it sounds really cool. I wanted you to get it because it turns you on and you know you'll use it. Take care all and have a tidy up day. And remember, I help you discover the joy of tidying up.